My name is Karin. I'm from Trapped in Suburbia. We are a design agency from The Hague, the Netherlands. We specialize in experience design. I'll explain a little bit more about that later on. I'm going to show some projects that we've done, 3 experience design projects, and in the end I will show one of our latest experiments, which is a series of experiments which search for the boundaries between digital interaction and analog interaction. That might be the most interesting part, I'm not sure. But, so this is a Chinese saying actually, which is tell me and I'll forget, show me and I may remember, involve me and I'll understand. For us, this is the main reason why we design the way we do. We like to involve our audience. We like to seek out some interaction just to get the message across. We like to turn off a switch in the user's head and kind of tickle their senses and really involve them in the things that we do. For instance, we design exhibitions. This is an exhibition designed for the Graphic Design Museum in the Netherlands. Interactive exhibition. This is a poster where you have to first scratch off all the ink and then you see what the message is. But we also organize events like this is a typography festival, so creative events. This was organized in The Hague but also in Shanghai during the World Expo. But we also design books. This one is with a matchbook ink, and you can really light a match on the cover of the book. So that was really quick. For us, as designers, I think we have the best profession that there is. We can play and be really curious. That's the main goal for us. That's where we find our inspiration, and that's also what we like to get across to the audience or the users of our design. We like people to be open-minded and play with our designs and be curious and touch and do things. First of the 3 projects that I'm going to show is exhibition design, and it's about happiness. And happiness is, in this case, 40,000 blue balls. It's an exhibition traveling through China at the moment. It's about 100 years of Dutch graphic design. It shows the history of Dutch design, and it has 40,000 blue balls. The reason for the balls was mainly because we wanted to have to get this happiness feeling across. The way Dutch designers work, or graphic designers in this case, is with a lot of joy, and we wanted to get the visitors of the exhibition to experience this happiness feeling and this joy, and not to enter the exhibition with the hands at the back of their back, but just really dive into it and get this feeling. The reason why we chose this ball pit and all these blue balls is that the Netherlands is below sea level, and the first Dutch designers were actually farmers. They had to create or redesign the nature and the land to get dry land, to dry up the peatland. And that's kind of the root of Dutch design thinking, to change the things around you, to make things better. Maybe sometimes really practical, but as the way I see design, it's also a combination of practical and playfulness. Because when you dive into the ball pit, you can have a look at these balls, and they actually show the history. So you really literally have to dive into the history and read all the stuff which is on the balls. This is an exhibition. It's a traveling exhibition, so with projects like this, we design the whole thing. So it's the concept, it's the experience, it's the logo, it's basically everything. So we also designed the furniture, and the furniture is flat packed. So everything is loose. It's just wooden panels, and they are tied together with the straps. Here on the left down, you see the logo, and it's the Chinese symbol for double happiness. It symbolizes 2 people working together. It's often used for marriages, and we combined their traditional logo into a Dutch flag. And the logo itself is also a base for the whole design. as you can see, we've made straps, which were printed in China, actually. And the straps bind all the furniture. So the collaboration between China and the Netherlands, which is in the logo, also combines all the furniture. And also combines the book. There's a publication going with this exhibition, and as you can see, the book is not glued, it's just bound by the strap. It's just loose pages, and they keep everything close together. So, as you can see, a lot of people enjoying the installations, which are part of the exhibition, and of course the ball. So this here is a different location, so then the ball pit is a different shape, but makes it really flexible. And at the first sketches, with the first concept of this design, we were a little bit doubtful whether the console of Shanghai, where the first opening was, would go into the ball pit. But apparently there is this curiosity in everyone. It didn't really matter if you were a suit or tie or a kid, or anyone would go into the ball pit and just experience the playfulness, and that was a really nice surprise. Sometimes we just have to take a little bit of a gamble and see whether things work. So this is another example of experience design, which is really easy. It's basically a sheet of paper. We turn it into a notepad. We call it a play more notepad. We just wanted our clients to play a little bit more. And what we did is created this notepad. And on the front is just lines, so you can write down whatever you want. And on the back there are all these 8 different ball patterns. So when you're ready with your note, or just fed up with your note, you can crumble it up into a ball and then goof around and play a little bit in the office. And third and last example is also an exhibition design. It's called the torture basement. It's a basement in a museum in Gouda in the Netherlands. And there are all these old torture equipment. The director asked us if we could do something with it. It was really popular with kids, especially boys around 12 years old. They would just run into the museum downstairs and go crazy with all the scary machines. But they would never read the signs, which were just really little, kind of boring signs. So what we decided to do is to take all the information and hide the information in a way that the kids really had to look and go searching and exploring, which makes it even more exciting than it already was. But it would help them to really understand and read the text and see the illustrations and learn something. So this is at your entrance at the torture basement. It kind of explains what you have to do. So first you have to put on the glasses, the special glasses. Then you take a torch, and then you can walk around, but don't shine in each other's faces, which is actually a little bit stupid that we wrote that down, because when you write it down, people immediately do this. So, but never mind, it was already on the floor. We couldn't change it anymore. So what happens if you take a torch and shine on the floor? You see something emerging, because all the information we painted on the floor was done with UV ink, which you of course normally can't see, only if you use a UV flash. So this black text is the only thing that you could see. Here you could take your glasses, and if you then shine with your torch on the box, you would see this. Pretty scary if you're a 10-year-old. So this is the room. It's actually really tiny. But when you turn on the UV, it looks like this. These pictures are made with a big UV light. So normally with the torch you have about a meter, a circle of about a meter. And there you see all the explanations of things, how they were used, and we created this little character who was who got kind of tortured every time. So it was a bit of the character didn't really survive in the end, but okay. So, as you can see, we're always kind of looking for new materials, new inks, or new techniques to improve experience, and we like to really dive into all these new possibilities. This is actually the flashlight area. If you return your flashlight and you don't turn it off, it says it lights up the sign which says to turn off the flashlight. So these small details. But so now I'm going to show you a series of experiments. Some of the things we've done this year. It kind of started all because we got this new, we got a new person in our studio, and his name is David. And David is a really good friend of ours. We've been working with him for a couple of years now, but we just decided it was a good idea to join hands in the studio. He still has his own company, but work closer. And David likes this, basically, which is not a blue screen, it's not nothing. It's, if you look really closely, he likes pixels. Well, we don't. We like print. We love print, but he likes pixels. So we kind of got in this argument about interactivity and analog versus digital, and the advantage and disadvantage. And after sort of argument, we thought, okay, but maybe we could join forces and make interactivity more interesting. Why can't we use digital interactivity and convert it into analog interactivity? So that's what we tried, and this was the first experiment. So that was Sound Poster 1.0. There's more to come. Basically what we did, we used an Arduino, which is a mini computer, really cheap. It's designed for prototyping. I think it's about $50. Well, you can see how big it is. And we combined it with conductive ink. First we tried carbon ink, but the disadvantage of carbon ink is that it's less conductive. So in the beginning we would have, if you have the poster, it's pretty big, and then at the bottom then it would work, but at the end of the poster it didn't work anymore. So we switched to copper ink, which is also used, of course, in computers. And of course we needed a funky amp to complete the whole thing. The way it works is basically, it's pretty easy. It's not new technology, it's just old technology being reused. You have to place your finger at the bottom of the poster and then move it around. And the poster itself is just full color printed, but the brown stuff is the copper ink. So what happens when you touch the poster and then move your finger around, you kind of complete the circuits. There is electricity going through the copper, and because you touch it, you complete the circuit, and your body functions as a resistance. So if you press harder, the sound changes, or if you press further up, the sound is also different than when you press closer to the other finger. So that was the first poster, and we had a lot of fun with it. It was exhibited in an exhibition in Utrecht. Worked really well, actually. People were really intuitive with it and just played around, and it was really good. But in the end, the copper ink didn't last that long. It was about a week, and then because of all the hands and the grease on it, the conductivity kind of dropped. So we thought about, okay, how can we improve on that part? And also we would love to just be able to goof around with one finger, not two, and that kind of it didn't feel right. And it would also be really nice for the interactivity if you could do it as a multiplayer version. So you would be able to touch the poster with multiple persons and have fun together. So that was a goal for the second poster. The design of this poster was kind of inspired by Kandinsky and his musical theory, as you may see. So this is the second poster. I'll show you. This video, no one falls off, don't worry. So this time we used a Raspberry Pi, which is even smaller than the Arduino, but it's a little bit stronger, so it has more capacity or more MB. You could just do a little bit more programming than with the Arduino. The way the sound is now programmed is that it's a continuous loop. And when you touch the poster, you turn up the volume. So basically, the loop is always on. But in that way, you kind of have the idea of a drum kit, or you can really get the idea that you're sampling and making some music. We combined it this time with silver ink, because silver ink is more conductive than the copper ink, and that worked just better. But this time we printed it on the back, actually, not on the front of the poster. Just because last time with all the touching, the conductivity dropped, so that worked better. And we combine it with a capacitive touch sensor, which basically senses whether something is touched or not. And of course, again, the funky amp. The way it works is that the natural electricity in the silver ink is measured by the sensors, and at the moment when you touch these bars, the back is the silver ink, then you change the natural electricity, and that's what the sensor kind of catches up, and then through the Raspberry Pi the sound goes up, and then you get the effect that you just saw. So, this was at a festival, a Kick Festival in Belgium, which is a digital interactive art festival, and it was for us the first time that it was on display, and it worked really well. People were nice, were really enthusiastic and playing around with it. And 2 weeks ago it was in Ghent at the festival there as well. It's just really fun to see how people play around with this. And basically the technique can be applied for anything. I could imagine it to work on packaging. If you have a packaging in the store and it makes a connection when you touch it, then you could play sound or LED lights, or it could also work for fabrics. It could also work for wallpaper maybe. So if you do it on a car, you could make a whole interactive car by touching it and sparking up sounds or lights or smell even. You could basically make a car into one big button. So imagine where that could go. This is the last in the series, and we were kind of Okay. We are kind of ready to wrap things up and end it with a bang. And this was just a little teaser of people, when you say can't touch it, people of course going to touch it. So I'll show you. I'll skip quickly through this. So again, Arduino in combination with an ignition and the touch sensors, and then yeah, they have some explosive ink. The ink was like a homemade mixture. It's not something you can buy in the store, but it worked. We did some tests, which I think we almost exploded our studio, but in the end, we've survived. All of this material is really just for prototyping, and when you want to turn it into a real product, there's already a lot out there on the market to do so. But we're just a small studio who likes to experiment, so we will. This is for us enough at this moment. So what we did here is we printed the ink on the back again. There is underneath the button there is this touch sensor and the ignition, and when you touch it, it ignites the ink, and then it sparks up the poster. So basically for us, experimenting, playing and be curious is what brings us further, what makes us, as designers grow and as people grow as well. I just wanted to show one last quick clip of a top secret experiment that we're working on now. It's like a sneak preview of what we're doing in our secret laboratory. It's about inflammable paper. And I do need a little bit of sound.
Where the future is being made today. Well, jeepers, you're about to witness the world's first demonstration of fireproof paper. Here is my assistant Beaker carrying a lighted blowtorch. He will now show you how impossible it is to ignite the fireproof paper in this basket. There is no way this paper can burn. With Muppet's fireproof paper, you'll always feel secure. Tune in next time and witness Muppet Lab's new answer to the energy crisis, flammable water. That's all for now from Muppet Labs. Oh dear. Oh.
Okay. Thank you.